If you're a family with a high school catcher that wants to play college baseball, you're probably in one of two situations. Some families are doing a lot of the right things. Private lessons, camps, showcases, strength work. Their catcher is talented and he's seeing real improvement, but they're not sure how all of this fits together or what actually needs to happen to reach the college level. Other families know that they're behind. Maybe your catcher is younger and you're assuming you have time, or maybe recruiting is getting closer and you're not sure what you should already have in place. Neither group has been given a clear roadmap as to how college catchers are actually developed and recruited step by step. So time passes and development windows start to narrow, and families are left guessing as to what actually matters, and that's what this video is all about. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you how college coaches actually recruit catchers, why talent, metrics, and exposure alone don't tell the full story, and how serious catchers and their families position themselves to not only get recruited, but to stand out once they get to that next level. This is not about shortcuts. It's about doing the right things at the right time and understanding the level of development required to play, contribute, and last at the college level. Before we go any further, let me be clear. This is for serious high school catchers, families who value long-term development, and for athletes that are willing to live like college catchers before becoming one. If you are looking for something quick, passive, or guaranteed without accountability from you, this is not going to be the right fit. But if your goal is to play a meaningful role on a college roster and develop into a catcher that a program can trust, keep watching. Here is where most families get misled, whether they feel ahead or behind in this process. They understand that skill development matters, they understand that exposure matters, but they don't see how deep a catcher's development actually has to go. Because securing a college commitment doesn't just happen when a catcher hits a certain metric or attends a certain event. Securing a college commitment happens when a catcher turns into an athlete that a college program can rely on. A catcher who can handle not only the speed of the game at the college level, but all of the demands that come with being a student athlete. A catcher that can add value to a program early, not someone who still needs years of physical and mental development once they get on campus. That's the part that most families never get shown. So they end up with catchers who might be decent in high school, but once they get on campus and get exposed to the demands of college athletics, things stall. Some guys end up riding the bench, other guys end up bouncing from program to program. And too often they fall out of love with the game. Not because they weren't talented, but because they never developed with their future role in mind. And with the transfer portal changing college baseball, this matters now more than ever. College coaches are no longer asking what a catcher could become in 2 or 3 years, and they're asking different questions now, like, can this catcher help us win games as a freshman? If the answer is not clear, they move on, because recruiting the right catcher can have a huge impact on a program's ability to win games, and coaches know this. Catchers are called to lead the team both on the field and off. And to adopt such a role at a high level, they need to be solid in every aspect of their game, life, and goals. College coaches don't just ask, can this guy play? They ask, can this guy show up daily as the person that I need him to be? College-ready catchers are not built in 1-hour private sessions, showcases, or the limited attention that they get at team practice. They're built through standards, structure, and daily execution over time. That's why I built what I call the college catcher constraint model. It's based on one simple truth. Development only moves as fast as the biggest thing holding you back. Most families try to improve everything at once, showcases, skills, metrics, without understanding what actually matters right now. Instead, we identify the single biggest constraint between your catcher and him playing at the next level, and we build around that first. Every catcher is evaluated against the level that they want to play at. From there, they're given a clear development path that aligns their training, their lifestyle, their metrics, and their own recruiting timeline. So development compounds over time instead of stalling. No generic advice, not random drills. The right focus at the right time in the right order. And in case you don't know me, my name is Nick Zoris. I caught at the Division I level and helped take a program that couldn't break above 17 wins my underclassmen years to a conference championship and an NCAA postseason appearance my senior year. But the part that most people don't see is how close I was to quitting before that year. As a freshman, sophomore, and junior, I faced a lot of the things that nobody prepares you for as a college catcher. And ultimately, the realization that talent alone wasn't enough anymore. I had to take a hard look at myself and decide who I wanted to become. That decision demanded a level of discipline and commitment that I had never asked of myself before, because I refused to walk away knowing that I didn't live up to my potential. That experience shaped how I see catcher development now. Since then, I've spent years working with hundreds of catchers remotely, helping them develop defensively, physically, and mentally, while preparing them for the realities of college baseball. Over 50 catchers that I've worked with have gone on to secure college commitments. Not because I picked up the phone and made the call for these guys, but because their standards, preparation, and identities as catchers changed. They became catchers that college coaches could actually trust, players who could actually contribute, and the type of catcher that could actually impact a college program. One of the first catchers that I helped earn a 4-year scholarship through this process was a kid named Landon. When we first started working together, Landon had 0 4-year opportunities and was facing the possibility of retiring. We didn't help him secure his dream offer by getting lucky. We didn't advise him to chase more exposure. Instead, we evaluated where he stood right now versus the level that he wanted to play at. We then identified what was holding him back. We aligned his training and his habits with the demands of what he'd be faced with at that next level. And we only moved into recruiting once he undoubtedly was able to make an impact at the school that he wanted to go to. When all of these things are done properly, the recruiting piece becomes easy. Landon went on to secure a college commitment to play baseball at Hawaii Pacific. And more importantly, he earned the trust of that program. This did not happen by accident. The process worked. Most catchers and their families are focusing on surface level solutions. Better metrics, more exposure, more volume. College ready catcher works differently. We start with standards, then structure, then skill development, and then recruiting. Because our goal isn't just to get a catcher recruited, it's to help them become the type of catcher that a college program wants to keep. Upon joining College Ready Catcher, every athlete starts with a full evaluation. We look at their defensive skill level, baseline metrics like pop time, velocity, and 60-yard dash, and how they're living day to day, their habits, routines, and structures. From there, we set a targeted recruiting list and back engineer the entire process. Yearly, monthly, weekly, and daily. So instead of going into each part of the year guessing what matters, our athletes know exactly what to focus on and when. We provide the structure, resources, coaching, and feedback to help them get bigger, faster, stronger, track their progress through film and metrics. We reassess and adjust as they develop, and we execute recruiting outreach at the right times during all of this, all while that catcher is learning how to compete with confidence. At this point, some families ask, is remote coaching really enough? And here's the truth, this type of program is not for everybody. Some catchers don't enjoy the level of structure, accountability, and planning that this process actually requires. Some catchers prefer to show up, be told what to do, and move on. But the catchers that thrive inside of College Ready Catcher and secure college commitments using this process are different. These guys are self-motivated, they care about the small details, and they want ownership of their development. This program is intentionally structured the way a college environment is. Clear standards, clear expectations, and the responsibility placed on the athlete. That is not a limitation of remote development, it's the entire point. At this point, the real question isn't whether this process works, it's whether this makes sense for your catcher. The truth is, every catcher is in a different situation, different ages, different skill sets, different levels of readiness, different timelines and focuses. And we only take a limited amount of catchers, specifically those that we know will be successful in this program. That's why the next step isn't guessing and it's not committing blindly. It's a conversation with us to decide if this actually makes sense for your situation. The next step is a college catcher evaluation call. On this call, we'll review your catcher's current situation, identify the real development gap that's holding them back, clarify realistic next steps based on their goals and timeline, and we'll give you an honest assessment of whether this process makes sense for your situation. If it ends up being a fit, we can go ahead and talk about what it would look like to move forward. And if it doesn't end up being a fit, you'll still walk away with a ton of value and clarity. From here, you really have 2 options. Option 1, keep piecing this together on your own. Lessons here, showcases there, hoping that it really adds up. And option number 2, follow a proven constraints-based process with clear standards, structure, and direction designed to help your catcher play college baseball. Only one gives you confidence that you're focusing on the right things at the right time. College Ready Catcher is for disciplined families who value structure, accountability, and progress. College baseball is not easy, but when you know what to focus on, how to train, and how to go about the recruiting process the right way, everything changes. Development stops feeling random. Confidence starts to replace guessing, and recruiting becomes a natural byproduct of real preparation. If you're ready to stop guessing and follow a clear and proven process, book your College Catcher evaluation call below, and let's see if College Ready Catcher is the right fit for your athlete.